A good thing about being in the Northwest at this time, the wild blackberries are ripe. I take a little time to visit my old home, which we built way back in 2005. The owner and I became friends, and she knows that I like to check the property out when I'm in town. I always like to check the trees that I planted and see how they've grown. Most have gone from just a few inches tall to being pretty impressive for less than 20 years. Back at my new place, I trim out the front door. Although the electrician will come back for some odds and ends, I start to do some electrical trim work. My neighbor gifted me this ring light/camera, but I can't get it easily set up, so I decide to just install this exterior LED light. And yes, I made a wooden ladder with scraps I had left over. It feels more like a home with lights installed, especially at nighttime. I move along on the flooring and come to spots where I have to make compound cuts. Quite a few planks of this laminate flooring were edge damaged, and I don't know how that happened, but I gotta work around it. I've been making quick work using this skill saw with a framing blade, but it does dull pretty quickly, and I think that's because the top layer is aluminum oxide. I tried scoring with a utility knife, but that just really didn't work for me. I need to give a really big shout out to Diane McLean. I received a very generous donation, and I'm really appreciative. Thanks very much, Diane. It's funny that the more I complete on this simple house, the more I find I need to do. I'm happy that Labor and Industries gave me my final electrical inspection and it passed. So I just have my final building department inspection to do to try to get occupancy, and I've got odds and ends like interior doors, and I think especially the kitchen needs to have the sink and the sink cabinet in, and then I can probably call them and see where we go from there. I'm getting more anxious to get back to my life in Taiwan, and especially get back to my blacksmithing. I finally completed the laminate flooring, and it took a lot longer than I imagined. I've been basically staying here now, maybe not every day, but most, and I really do enjoy it. I really do sleep well here. I walk to the back of my property and am surprised to find that the neighbor's dead hemlock tree fell, and it fell completely on my property. Luckily, it fell not in the direction of the house, that's for sure. It's not really wide, but it was very tall, this tree, and it was very dead. If you were wanting to fell this tree, you couldn't have put it in a better spot, so at least I'm happy about that. We had one gusty rainy day when I wasn't here, and that's probably when it fell. Speaking of death, I've had one in the family, and so I'm going to head back to the East Coast a little sooner than I originally planned. I do a little baseboard trim with just some cedar boards, and I tighten up the place, getting ready to head back to New York City, and then to North Carolina, and then back to New York City, and then back to the Pacific Northwest. And like magic, I'm on an E train from JFK, heading to Staten Island. I always like to take public transportation if I can. I need to refuel. I'm now on the Staten Island ferry. I really enjoy the smell of the ocean here. It really reminds me of my childhood and a lot of lazy days fishing by the old piers. I catch up with my dad, and he immediately wants to go take a walk. I can barely keep up with him. He moves pretty quick for an 80-year-old. Now I'm magically in North Carolina down by my mom. She doesn't move as quick, but she's pretty sharp. Anyway, it takes all kinds in this world.
No, but you like what you like, and so that's that.
After a few days, I'm back in New York. Again, I refuel because I got a lot more fooling around to do.